Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rebecca Saunders Show. Oh my gosh, we are up to episode 40. 40, I believe. I'm just going to double check that. Up to episode 40, we have almost cracked a year podcasting every week, which is super, super exciting. It just goes to show that consistency does really pay off. And if you can be really regimented about it, as I was talking about with the content planning and just making sure that you're on top of the creation, it's really easy to roll that out. Now, I am recording in the studio today. I have a new addition to the studio family, to my family, a little furry friend called Bailey. He is a 12-week-old mini Australian Shepherd. So if he starts squeaking his little toys or running around in the background, if you are watching the video of this episode, he is rather cute. We'll just let him do his thing this morning. So today's episode, it's a solo one today. I am changing things up over the next 12 months and we're running themed months. So essentially I've got themes of content around confidence, video production, resilience, online programs, business building. There's a little bit of festive fun in there for December, but we're running a theme per month, and then I've got some amazing guest speakers coming on for each and every month to deep dive into those topics, give us some golden nuggets, give us some tips, give us some tricks, and send us on our way with actionable things that we can really put into our own businesses and our own lives. I'm super excited about it. There are some incredible guests coming up between now and Christmas. And yes, I said Christmas and it is only July, but I am super, super excited. Today, though, we are talking, I want to deep dive and I want to talk to you about when and why you would bring on a professional videographer in your business to create any sort of video content. Now, you'll be very aware that I run a mastermind called the Video Academy, which is essentially a video toolkit for business leaders, course creators, and speakers to remove the stress and all the, what the hell is going on with this techness when it comes to video production. So that's all the DIY stuff, all the stuff that you can do yourself, dabble in, learn the tools, learn the tricks. But there comes a point when you've learned that and you've got those skills underhand. You've built up that repertoire of DIY videos that you've done. Maybe you've been filming on a small DSLR camera, maybe you've been using your webcam, but there comes a stage where you will need to bring on a professional. So I actually wanted just to touch on when you actually should be thinking about it. Now, one of these things as business owners we tend to do is we try and save money by learning a skill that we're maybe that's not in our genius zone. I am a big believer of outsourcing things that I am not particularly good at. I do it with the podcasts. I do it with my own video production. I film things and then I get my team to edit them. I do pretty much the bare minimum. I show up, I do my thing, I share my knowledge, I share my expertise. And then I have a team of people that are able to take that content and turn it into social content, snippets, reels, you name it, we're creating it. So there comes a point where as business owners, we need to realize how much time and energy and money, let's be realistic, we tend to waste without realizing trying a new skill set, trying something different, trying to save money, but in fact we're doing the complete opposite. And instead of putting our energies and our focus on making the money, doing the sales, we tend to dabble around and play and try and work out how we can create something ourselves. So let's start with probably the most obvious piece. Online programs, they are popping up left, right, and center. Online programs are not just for individuals or small business owners who are wanting just to diversify into the online market and reach a more global audience. They're also referred to as LMS programs within large corporates, so learning management systems, that kind of thing. And the crux of this is there is a lot of video content to be created to make this course, this program, a reality, right? So when it comes to creating that content, you're no longer creating a single piece of video content yourself. You're no longer just jumping in front of your webcam or your DSLR and doing just one video. You're probably looking at 40, 50, 60 videos, depending on how long your course program is. And that's a lot of content, right? That is a lot of content to be creating. And so it's at that point, as a course creator, I would be looking at it going, all right, I need help with this here. I need help with this for several reasons, right? Number one, there is a heap of content there that I need to create. And I know I know what I want to talk about. I'm going to spend the time, and I harp on about this a lot. I'm going to spend the time scripting that content, making that content right so that I can maximize. Remember the batching episode we did a few weeks ago? We wanted to maximize that. You're going to do that, but you're not going to want to make sure that you're not necessarily fuzzy in front of the camera, right? The number of people that I've spoken to that have done a dozen videos and looked at them and realized that something was wrong, the framing was off, they weren't quite in focus, they were a little bit fuzzy around the edges, the microphone wasn't connected correctly. You don't want this to happen when you're creating your online program. We want to streamline that process. So you bring someone in who will create that content for you, who'll know and guide, who know the equipment, they'll guide you through how to present to your best self on camera, and they'll help you energetically get through the filming and the creation of those 60 videos, right? Of those 40, 50, 60 videos. And I tell you, it is ridiculously hard to keep your energy levels up talking to a camera. So if you have that amount of video, I would be pushing for 3 mornings of filming rather than cramming it into solid full days. I am all for batch creation of content, don't get me wrong, but you can see the difference in you as a presenter when you have spent all day, 8 hours filming. You can see the difference in the energy from the video shot in the morning to the video shot in the afternoon. So if you've got that amount of video content, that's when I'd be looking at doing 2 or 3 mornings worth of filming, and then being able to really split that out and keep your energy high. So that's where I would play in terms of an online course, an online program. I would be bringing someone in to help me deliver that, to help so that the editing's done. You know, when someone is a professional editor, they smash through the speed of editing. There is a reason that my team are referred to as video ninjas. They move so fast because it's all that they know and it's all that they do, that they can get it super, super speedy. So again, this comes down to your time and your energy. Once you've filmed the content, get someone else to edit that content. It will really speed up the process. And then really all the conveyor belt is taking those videos and putting them into your online program, your online platform, whatever that may look like. But that's just the online course space. What about if you wanted to step it up and just bring in that next level of production value? Now, when I'm talking about hiring a professional, there are several tiers of hiring a professional to help you with video content. The first could be, outside of the online course space, the first could be that you are perhaps filming a heap of podcasts like I am doing now. I am recording on 2 devices as I record this podcast, and I want someone to take that content and edit it into other content. So for me, I am doing all of the filming and the production side myself, but the post-production I am outsourcing to one of my team, to extended members who can take both the audio and turn it into my podcast, that can take the verticals and turn that into reels for me, and can take the horizontal video and turn that into YouTube content, live streams from other social platforms. And then that's not even counting all the little bits of snippets that we take away and take all that content into something else. So what we're talking about here is just bringing someone on who's doing part of the production, that editing, that post-production side, that finessing of content. And so in doing that, that's when, and you bring someone on is when you're creating that content on a regular basis. And it's important for you to be showing up, doing the doing, getting in front of the camera, showing your face, speaking your truth, educating your audience, and you're taking that genius, that's your genius zone. You are playing in that genius zone, and then you pass it on to someone else to play in theirs, right? So we're just doing a 50-50 split almost. The second way is to pass off everything, like absolutely everything. And this could be bringing in someone to help you with filming client case studies, for example, or filming a promotional video for your business, or online courses like I talked about, or just regular social media updates if you're willing and wanting to do weekly video blasts, perhaps. This is when you bring someone in who can do the whole lot. They come in, they show you how to make it happen, they film it for you, they'll edit it for you, and they'll deliver that content. Now, there's a caveat to this in terms of bringing in a professional, because there are different tiers, as I alluded to earlier. For me, I would say there are probably 3 core tiers of videographer professional. The first is your junior freelancer. Now, these are young individuals who have the skills, because we can all get our hands on cameras, have the skills to film and edit your content. They may have just come out of college or out of uni. You know, they've got the skills. They may have done a course. They may not have done a course. You know, they may have learnt it themselves. But these are the people that are probably at the lower price point. Now, there's one thing to be mindful of here, and that is timeliness of delivery of content. I have seen, so I'm just going to caveat it with a little bit of warning, and I'm not going to say this is a blanket comment on all lower junior videographers, I should say, but I have had people take content and bring content to me that has been shot out of focus because it wasn't shot by someone who really knew what they were doing. It was shot with, you know, potentially audio that's gone wrong, or they filmed something, it looks amazing, but it's taking a really long time to get the edit back. You know, this is where we need to be putting in those boundaries and asking those questions. Asking the questions of, what is your experience here? How much is this going to cost me? What are the timelines? So with a junior, they might not have that quite down pat. Level it up and go to more experienced freelancer, maybe someone that is considered a one-man band for creating video content, and they've probably got some systems in place, right? They've got systems, they're ready to roll with it. And one thing that I've seen time and time again, because it comes down to a trait of creatives actually, is that they're really good at the doing, but they may, again, not be quite so tight on that timeliness. So you're doing a step up in terms of pricing to get their expertise and their experience, because they've probably been doing it for a number of years. They've got that experience, they've got all that equipment at their disposal. That's when you're paying that slightly higher price point. But again, you still have to ask those questions. What am I getting? How much is this going to cost me, and how long is it going to take for you to deliver that content to me? And then you can go up again. Now, up again is probably where I sit. It's where I sit in the video production company space. It's where I have a whole team of videographers and editors, aka my video ninjas. And we help our clients to plan their content. We guide them through the planning process. We advise them on where to film, how best to film, how to get the most out of their content, how to be as comfortable as they can in front of the camera. We guide them through what we call pre-production time, and then we film, and then we edit. And again, those questions still remain, but the questions on my end, those questions are questions that I put forward to the client rather than the other way around. So you've got those 3 tiers of price point and experience. And I think when it gets to a point where you are struggling to keep up, or that video content just isn't looking as smick as it needs to look for you to grow your business to the next level, that's when you need to start looking at bringing someone in. That's when you need to start thinking about, who do I need to bring in? How can I get them in any better? How can I make this process easy? I'm all about the easy. How do we make this process easy? And on that note, actually, I do have, and we'll link it into the show notes and the notes on the video if you're watching the replay of the recording, I have a 5-step video supplier checklist. So if you're at that point in your business where you're ready and you're looking for a video professional, head over and download that download right now. I'm just going to absolutely double check that I'm going to give you the correct URL. So if you head over to rebeccasaunders.com/supplier checklist, you'll be able to get your hands on a copy of that. Well, again, we'll link it into the show notes, but that will guide you through all the questions that you need to ask your video suppliers, what you need to be asking for, what you need to be looking out for, how best to rate them so that you're making sure that you get the right video professional for you. Because the whole premise of me sharing this knowledge in this episode is I don't want you to get burnt when it comes to creating video content. I don't want you to be getting content that isn't on brand with you, that isn't available for you to share in a timely fashion when you need it. I want you to be able to be creating content with confidence, to be investing in suppliers that will give you the content that you want and that you need, and that it's a super easy, streamlined process. So let's just recap on this. Why and when? Well, the why comes back to ensuring that you're saving time, saving money, and being smart and savvy about using your genius zone. We want you to be in front of the camera, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, and having a really good time engaging with your audience and your potential customers. When is when we're talking about getting it to a point where you're creating a lot of content. If you're creating regular content, you're filming it yourself and then you're outsourcing the edit, or you're creating an online program, or you want to batch record. One of my favorite things. That's when you bring someone in who can come and film and edit and take that away for you. All right. So there's ways to do that. And of course, this does not caveat the fact that people are really great at doing DIY content. I teach it for a living, right? I teach you how to DIY in the Video Academy. But we're talking about leveling up, taking those skills to another level, investing in yourself and in your business to just make that video production process just that little bit easier once your business starts making a little bit more money. So do go check out that checklist. I think at part of this episode, the puppy has been very quiet, but I can see out of the corner of my eye one of my beautiful plastic prop pot plants, maybe in a dozen pieces on the floor. So on that note, I am going to call it a day on this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't hesitate to reach out on any of the social platforms. I am most active on Instagram. If you have any questions, come find me at the Rebecca Saunders. As I said, I'm all about making things easy, and we can definitely do that for you and your video creation journey. Thanks for tuning in.